Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. In the 3 verses of Prathasmarana Stotram, Adi Shankaracharya is starting each verse with an instruction or a pointer or a guideline for us to contemplate, as if an auto-suggestion. Prathasmarami, Prathar bhajami, and Prathar namami. Prathasmarami, early morning, I remember. Prathar bhajami, this morning I worship. I am devoted to. And Prathar namami, early morning I bow down to. So all these 3 words are indicating that we ought to remember, worship, bow down to the real. But if we look at our life, how do we start? Early morning, I wake up and remember all that is unreal. In a regular person's life, that person has no place, no value for the real. A regular person is only worshipping unreal all the time. And a person never bows down to the real. The person holds on to his or her ego and wants to bow down only to the unreal. Only to the unreal. Such is life. So Vedanta is search for truth, search for the real. Starts with Viveka. Starts with observing our own life. How much am I worshipping unreal? How much am I worshipping the real? What is the worship of the unreal then? The more and more you're indulging in sense pleasures and with sense objects, which are unreal, that is your level of worshipping the unreal. Life means you got to deal with things, but then if you do not have this vision, if you do not have the viveka about satya and mithya, atma and anatma, what is real and what is unreal, without your notice, days pass on to years, and you end up only remembering, worshipping and bowing down only to the unreal, never to the real. Even though real is so profound and self-evident, we constantly deny. We as if deny it all the time. There's a beautiful Shanti mantra. What is the prayer there? May I not deny the Brahman. May the Brahman not deny me. The reality never denies you. It's just a poetic expression. But the focus in that Shanti mantra is that may you not deny the real. The real is there, self-evident all the time, but we are so used to Nama Rupa, so used to living a life only with the unreal, we seem to have found a level of comfort with the unreal, with that which is changing all the time. Even though it has such negative effects on our life, we seem to have found some level of comfort. You know, it's like there's a mosquito bite and you're scratching. If you scratch, it hurts now if you do. But then when there's a mosquito bite and then you're scratching, you find some comfort. It is in fact a discomfort to scratch your skin. But when there is some mosquito bite, you seem to find some satisfaction. So that's how Vyavaharika life goes. If we do not address it, we will be drowned in unreal. Truth is to be recognized, all the time. Sometimes it's just right next to you, you do not notice. Once, in many years back, Puja Swamiji used to recollect this story. He was traveling from US to India, and in the flight, there was a person sitting next to him. Halfway through or almost nearing Delhi or something, that gentleman started a conversation with Puja Swamiji, and he said, he asked Puja Swamiji, "Where are you headed to?" Swamiji replied, "I'm headed to Rishikesh." And the gentleman was delighted. He said, "Oh, I am also going to Rishikesh." And he explained further, "You know, I'm going to Rishikesh to meet this Swami Dayananda Saraswati." And probably Swamiji must have said, "I am that." But that person may not be ready to accept it. Why? Even though the truth is sitting right next to you. Why? Because you have a picture of what truth has to be. That very picture denies you to recognize the truth. You have a preconceived notion about what Atma has to be. So you do not recognize Atma, even though it is pointed out in a text in a classroom during meditation. But you think, no, it cannot be this. It should be something like this. Somehow there is a preconceived notion. We get asked this question all the time. After talk series or anything, we highlight the importance of Shastra and Guru. I got this question asked in Dallas also last week. "Swamiji, how to find a Guru?" Then if you say that Guru is sitting right in front of you, it becomes self-marketing, advertising. You cannot say that. So, but we fail to recognize, accept anything because you have a preconceived notion. That knowledge, you think it's knowledge, but the preconceived notion will be the cause of non-recognition of the truth. So that's why in Vedanta, the prakriyas, the methods, the teachers, the texts, shastras spend chapters and verses and time in helping the student to decondition oneself. To decondition oneself from all notions about the truth, all notions about the truth. So once that deconditioning is there, you have a clear, simple mind to appreciate what is. The truth becomes self-evident, that which is present ever. So that is what Acharya Shankara is helping us to focus, contemplate in this particular text by introducing three words which we, as starting points to recognize, remember early in the morning. Early morning is an expression. Do not hold on to the time indicated there. It could be any time of the day. And to worship and to bow down to the truth. To bow down to the truth when you recognize it. So let us look into the third verse. You may chant after me. Prathasmarana tamasah paramarkavarnam purnam sanatana padam purushottamakhya yasminnidam jagadasheshamasheshamurtau rajvam bhujangama iva pratibhasitam vai. Pratar namami tamasah paramarkavarnam. Early morning, I bow down to that which is beyond darkness. I bow down to that which transcends the darkness of ignorance. I bow down to that light of the sun. Arka is sun, but here it is symbol for knowledge, for Atma Tattva itself. Not the physical sun in the sky, but then in the Vedantic literature, the light and the sun metaphors are always used in order to indicate Atma Tattva, Atma Chaitanya, that which is self-effulgent, that which is shining all the time, that which is conscious. So I bow down to that which transcends the ignorance. What is that? It is the light of knowledge. It is the light of the sun, that which transcends ignorance. Here, darkness is symbol, the darkness of the night, that means absence of light, is indicative of ignorance and all its effects. Not only ignorance, all the effects that comes because of ignorance. You do not know the truth, you see just in a situation, how it operates in our life too. In a particular situation, in a family context, you do not know the truth, something is going on between the relatives. First thing you do is assume something. You assume something, because of that you have anger, because of that you have disappointment, because of that you have frustration, you have sadness, all the other effects. Where is the starting point? Starting point is non-understanding. Non-understanding leads to all these effects. So that's what Shastras always point us and indicates. All the kama, krodha, mada, lobha, matsarya, all these effects are coming from one cause. And what is that one cause? Ajnana. Ajnana. So you do not know the reality. Thus, when you start interacting, this will be the effects. It is funny actually, without a presupposed knowledge in the world, in generally, in the defined terms, you never enter something. Without an undergraduate degree, you do not go to grad school. Without high school, you do not go to the next level. Without elementary school, you do not go to the next step. Without knowledge of surgery, you do not, doctor doesn't enter the operation theater. But then, if you look at life in general, a child comes out and is forced to interact with the world without any much knowledge about the whole thing. You got to pick it up as soon as even you are walking. You got to pick up all the things, figure out life, figure out how it works, everything as even you are walking. That's how life is. That's how life is. Starts with ignorance. We got to figure it all out. But then there is a solution, there is a way out. To see the world from a very big picture, from a very high standpoint. And what is that high standpoint? That high standpoint is to understand the nature of the world. How much ever you try with a limited intellect, probably we can never, an individual may not have full understanding of the details of the working of the universe or the world. We do not know, maybe it may take another 50 years advancement or when this limited brain can conceive every detail of the working of the universe. But then, philosophically, from the standpoint of Vedanta, you can, with the very limited intellect, with the very limited brain, you can appreciate what is the nature of the world, what is its reality, what is its nature. Fundamentally, what is the nature of all Namarupas? There's so much in each and every single object. The details when you go for at atomic level, at the particle level. There's so much details to it, endless details. One thing leads to another. But then, what we are trying to do in Vedanta is fundamentally understanding the nature of it in terms of reality. And that is very simple, very, very applicable to your life. Why? Because we understand the nature of it is impermanent. I may not know all the scientific details of this pot, but I know one fact for sure is that this is impermanent. This configuration of Nama Rupa is impermanent. But the individual is seeking permanency in this object. It's the most ridiculous thing to do in our life. Expecting permanence out of impermanent objects. Apply people, bring in situations too. Most ridiculous thing to do. You're handling glasses after a party, and then couple of glasses break. You immediately have a reaction, some emotion, some disappointment. How ridiculous it is that when you were purchasing it, you knew that it is fragile. They have put all the instructions. And that too in this country, so even on milk that contains milk, they will write on a milk carton. You're aware of that detail, fragile, it will break. All of it you know, but you went, swiped your card and got it, now expecting permanency out of a glass jar or a glass tumbler. It's the most ridiculous thing to do. We do that all the time. All the time we're expecting that. That is worshipping unreal. That is the worship of unreal. All our energy, all our efforts goes on to preserving the unreal, wanting reality out of impermanent things, wanting permanency out of impermanent things. That is where we are all involved in this puja. Worship is puja, big puja. What is that? Preserving all these impermanent things constantly. You got to have a few things, whether at home or ashram, wherever you are, let them be. Everything has its place, let them be in its place. You need not derive anything more out of it. Utility value, derive it. It's okay, life it requires those things. But then we do not stop there. Because we do not understand Satyam, this impermanent object itself is the highest reality for us. We not only derive utilitarian value out of it, we derive comfort out of it. We derive prestige out of it. We derive pride out of it. We derive security out of it. Thinking these people, places, objects will give me security. Endlessly accumulating. Endlessly you accumulate. In India also people accumulate. In South Africa also people accumulate. In Europe people accumulate. In this country they accumulate even more. So if your house is not enough, then you get a rental space. Put all those things there. So that, where is it all coming from? These objects will make me secure. I derive all these things out of these objects. So this focus, this misplaced understanding creates havoc in our life. So Acharya is guiding us into the path of real. He says, do not bow down, constantly bow down to unreal objects. Bow down to the real. That light of consciousness, that light of knowledge. Tamasaf paramarka varnam. That effulgent light of consciousness which transcends ignorance. Bow down to that alone if you want to bow down. So why there is sampradaya of bowing down to the gurus is because these teachers are the carriers of this light of consciousness, the knowledge of this consciousness. So there is a philosophy, there is a philosophical wisdom, and that philosophical wisdom operates in the culture too. That's the uniqueness of Sanatana Dharma, in symbols. So that is why we have all these Namaste, Namaskaram things. Moving further, Purnam Sanatana Padam Purushottamakyam. I bow down to that which is Purnam. What is its nature? What is the nature of that light of consciousness? It is Purnam, complete. This consciousness alone is complete. Look at anything else. You have the sense of incompleteness. Body has some strength, in comparison lacks a few things. Intellect has many things. The moment you see somebody else, you say, okay, I lack this. Things and objects in the world, you say, incomplete. And look at each object. It is limited in itself, incomplete. It serves one purpose, doesn't serve another purpose, another function. Incomplete. Doesn't have a lid, incomplete, even at that stage. You just pick up objects of the world and observe it. Incomplete. Never the whole. Or you can also look at it from this way. Is this object going to make me complete? No. Never. We have all tried that, I suppose. You all have tried that, I suppose. In 20, 30, 50, 60 years of life, we thought of completing our life through objects, through people, through son, through daughter, through grandson, through granddaughter. Never seems to happen. Never seems to happen. Or with a nice tuxedo in Indian context, raiments for the complete man. Doesn't complete you. Even with all of that, you feel incomplete within. Putting up a show to shake hands and make some connections. Yet, there is, you know for sure, for yourself, what all lack that you experience in your life. So none of the objects make me complete. I hold on to body to make me, or to find completeness in the body, never gives it. Mind and intellect, never. Emotions, sometimes yes, sometimes no. After that, no. So Purnam, what is Purnam? That whole, that which is complete, is consciousness alone. The sense of I, aham, that divine presence, which is ever there. What lack is there in that? What lack? It's not an object at all to have a lack to start with. The very essence of the subject doesn't have any name, form, color, texture, nothing. Thus doesn't lack anything. Thus it is Purnam. Available in all three periods of time. Thus Purnam. Ever present. That which is complete. Sanatana Padam. It's an abode of timelessness, or timeless abode, Sanatana Padam. It is the source, it is the foundation, and doesn't have any time. It transcends the very, very concept of time. And Acharya here says, Purushottamakyam. The Vedas, the scriptures, call this Atma Tattva as Purusha. It's a very important word in the scriptures. Purusha doesn't mean man or masculine figure. Do not think of it that way. Pure Ushati, one who dwells in the body. Pura means a city. One who dwells in the city called body. In this city called body. What is that? This light of consciousness seems to dwell in this body. Body is like a covering, a lampshade, or sometimes there is a lamp or candle you place, on top of it you put a covering, and that covering will have holes. So that kind of a setup, that there is always this shining light of consciousness. On top of it, there seems to be upadhi, covering of the body. And even that lampshade illustration is also very beautiful. It has a few holes through which the light comes out. And look at this body, it also has many holes for this light of consciousness to express and manifest itself out. Or you look at it as a city. This city has 9 gates. Count the organs, count the openings, 9 gates. Or in another context, another Upanishad tells it as 11 gates. 11 gates. So 9 or 11 in terms of context. So there's a nice Kannada, one of the dasas have sung, Tumbida pattanake ombattu bagilu sambramadara sugalaidu mandi. He says, this Tumbida Pattana means a city. This full city has 9 gates, 9 doors, and inside this city, 5 people are sitting who are all the time enjoying, going in and out through these gates. And they're all the time excited, wants to jump, they want to dance, they want to sleep, they want sensations all the time. Who are those 5 people? 5 sense organs. 5 centers. So through these gates, they go, get involved with the world, and come back, get information back, get sensations back, and enjoy. Sambrama means always enjoying. And that's the life we know. And the Dasa goes on to say, if you live such a life, it is idiotic. It's the most idiotic way to live. Just to be always in sensory thrill or sensory pleasures, sensations. After a point, it takes you high, there's dopamine high, and after a point, now studies, even researchers show, and it's in your own experience, what happens when you constantly engage with a sense pleasure, a sense object, constantly, what happens is you become numb. Law of diminishing marginal utility. After a point, nothing, na rochate, nothing interests you. So much happiness out of the spouse, after many years, the person stops to being the source of happiness for you. Then you go for something else, somebody else. One passion after another, one hobby after another, one holiday destination after another. So you go on searching, but you never find completeness, you never find the real. All the time there are only sensory pleasures, nothing else. Life becomes barren piece of land. We do not want that. So Acharya is telling, recognize that completeness, that timeless abode, which is called by the name purusha, which is indwelling in this very body. Do not be involved with just sense organs. Look within, look deeper. You find this source of light, this conscious presence, which is enlivening the body, mind, sense organs, all of it. Pay attention to that. Moving further. Yasmin nidam jagadashesha mashesha murtau. So what is this timeless abode? What is this space? What is this Atma Tattva? So Acharya is pointing out, this is the foundation for all the Nama-rupas to appear. All the Nama-rupas, the Jagat, entire Jagat itself is a Nama-rupa. You look at the world, What is the entire world? How much ever we can conceptualize the world today. So many years back they knew certain understanding of the universe, and today at 2023 it has expanded further. Where the Namarupas had stopped previously, some more Namarupas had added. Names and forms are added into that chunk of piece of information. That piece of information. It is updated. At 2023, it's an updated information about what are the constituents of the world. If we were to be there at 2083, there will be a lot more chunk of information added into to call what constitutes the world, or what are its components. Basically, more and more Namarupa, that's all. So, what is the basis of it all? Where all these Namarupas are appearing and disappearing? Now purely observe from your subjective standpoint. From your standpoint. When you use word subjective, then it has another connotation, meaning it is relative connotation. From your relative standpoint. I'm not telling relative standpoint. Look at it from your standpoint. Because the basis of Vedantic inquiry is you. You. So look at everything from your standpoint. Do not look at what others are saying. Now just look at from your experience, from your standpoint. You are, and now look. Whatever Namarupas I throw are appearing and disappearing on the canvas of mind, and there is you as a witness of that mind ever present here and now. Pot, sun, stars, Milky Way, tree, lotus, Swami Sachidananda. You are still there, not disappeared. Wait for some more minutes. Gurukulam, road, car, USA. Are you able to appreciate? Every Namarupa is appearing and disappearing on this canvas of mind, and you are always present as a witness of it, as a witness of it. Look at the glory of this presence, conscious presence. Entire universe, the names and forms are manifesting and going away in this canvas. That's what is the message of Vedanta. Do not have dramatic visualization. On this Atma Tattva, everything is appearing and destroying, and then there is fire, there is, no, it's this. It's this. Yasmin idam jagadam ashesha murtau. On this presence, everything is appearing and disappearing, manifesting, unmanifesting. The entire universe, as you know of, is manifesting on this ground of conscious presence. Rajvam bhujangama iva pratibhasitam vai. Acharya is making the highest philosophical teaching, or the guidance, or the truth claim of Advaita Vedanta. Acharya is very casually, simply adding it in this verse. Now he says, look at this, all that is appearing and disappearing. How is it happening? What is this phenomenon? What is this phenomenon? This phenomenon is like how the snake appears on the rope, and once you switch on the light, it disappears. The snake appearing on the rope will have some effect on you. What is that? Fear, wanting to run away. Or sometimes there's silver on a seashell, or there is an illusion of mirage. You tend to see water in a place where there is no water. That also generates an effect in you. What is that effect? You run towards it. In the rope snake example, you run away from it. In the mirage example, you're driving and you see a mirage and you think there is water. Suppose you were thirsty, you go towards it to recognize that it is not there. It is not present at all. Similarly, as even each and every Namarupa appears, you either go to grab it or want to run away from it. That's how life is. But then, if you understand, Rajvam Bhujangama iva pratibhasitam vai, you understand this light of consciousness, on this, in its presence alone, every name and form is appearing and disappearing. And if you were to understand this knowledge, recognize your true nature, you have firm abidance in this wisdom, none of these objects can touch you. They come only to go. You can engage with it at your will. Or you are just a silent witness to all of it. And you now, with this background, you know the nature of the world. The nature of the entire Namarupas. Just an appearance. Just a temporary appearance, like how the snake appeared on the rope. Even though this, what we call as universe, the world we know, we feel it's very tangible. How can you say this is unreal? How can you say it's a phenomenon when I can touch, feel, transact with it? Use the very terms to know its unreality, because you're observing this only in this period of time. Starting here and ending here, it seems to be very concrete. Keep looking at the same object for few more years. Right in front of you, it disappears. It erodes. Plastic, Swamiji? Wait for few thousand years. What about the body? Well, cannot be a better example than that which is just a phenomenon, just an illusion. It always seems to be there. And as even we are talking about it from 45 minutes, we have aged, this body has aged by 45 minutes. 45 minutes lost out of its best before time. So that's the nature of it all. So in this understanding, in this recognition, one walks free, one is liberated. One is liberated from all misunderstandings, from all ignorance. That's what is the power of Vedanta. That is what contemplation does to us. So we'll repeat this verse again. Okay, we will do from the first and then come to the third again. Prathasmarami Hridi samsphuradātma tattvam Satchit sukham Paramahamsa gatim turiyam Yat svapna jagara Sushuptama vaiti nityam Tad brahma nishkalamaham Nacha bhuta sanghaha. Early in the morning, I contemplate on the reality of Atman, the existence, awareness, bliss, absolute, pulsating clearly in the heart as the sense of I. It is the goal, the great goal for realized souls. It is called by the name Fourth, ever witnessing and illuminating the three states of waking, dream, and deep sleep. I am that Brahman, Tad Brahma Nishkalamaham, nacha bhuta sangaha. I am not the conglomerate of the 5 elements. You see, this understanding makes you fearless. Nabhibheti kadacha neti, Taittiriya Upanishad. What this understanding can do to me now? Okay, I understood the reality of myself, reality of the world. Even if you were to ask this question, Upanishad answers. Nabhibheti. There's no fear for such a person. Where you understand now, I am not this conglomerate of 5 elements, not this body. So most of our fears are, where is it centered on? Body. Where is it centered on? Body. Either my body or my wife's body or my husband's body or the kid's body. That small is our circle today, unfortunate. I'm not deeply touched by any other body. So, even if you were to say in this context, no fear. Why? Because you understand, just like the glass can break any time, this body can also break. So what fear? What fear can be? Where there is objectivity, there is no fear. Where there is subjectivity, there will be fear. Subjectivity, so much superimposition. New car, always fearful. Where will be the scratch? In Bangalore context or Hyderabad context, in Delhi context. So now you understand realities. Of course, new car, scratch is going to be there. So no fear. You know all that can be expected and unexpected. You know of it all already. It's knowing, it's like watching the movie, knowing the plot. Horror movie, you already know the plot. And you doesn't touch you anymore. No fear. Second verse. Pratar bhajami manaso vachasamagamyam. 2 readings. Manasa vachasamagamyam. Vacho vibhanti. Nikhila yadanugrahena. Yanneti neti. Vachanair nigama avochuhu. Tam deva deva majamachyutamahuragryam. Early in the morning, I worship the Atma Tattva, that which cannot be described by words and conceptualized by the mind. Yet all words shine or convey their meaning by the grace in the form of awareness of Atman. The Vedas point out or signal Atman repeatedly using the words that negate all superimpositions as neti neti. That Atman is the God of all gods, the one that illumines all organs. It is birthless. The realized people say that it is the origin of creation and it never slips down to the level of unreal creation. So, the second verse is again helping us move out of the clutches of the unreal. So, Upanishad helps us to get out of the clutches of the unreal by giving us the staff of discrimination through which you can say neti neti, not this, in search of truth. So many objects may entice us, so many situations, people, emotions, wrong ideas. You say not this, not that. In Taittiriya Upanishad, in the Bhruguvalli, Bhrugu went to his father and then said, I want to understand Atma, I want to know Brahman. He says, go, body is the Brahman. He meditates on the body and comes to recognize, no, this is not permanent. Then he further inquires, mind as Brahman. Then he comes to recognize, no, this is also not permanent. Neti. Sense organs, no, they are also impermanent. Prana, impermanent. The functions of the intellect, impermanent. So constantly, when you deny the unreal, you recognize the real. The whole of Vedanta, Advaita, the very term is in negative. In Sanskrit, if you add the particle a to something, it becomes negative. So Dvaita, duality, Advaita, not dual, non-dual, This is negation of duality. The negation, as I said, is the roti and ghee, bread and butter of Vedanta. So you use that tool constantly to chart a path of real for yourself. Real for yourself. Take this broom of discrimination or viveka and drive out all that is unreal in your understanding. Do not try to put out all the unreal things out of the world. You will be left with no thing. Unreal, false understandings, false notions, false conditionings. Put it aside. Neti, neti. So that is the power of the Upanishadic words, which makes you worship the real. You you put out all that is unreal. Even in our puja, you see, there is a symbolism involved everywhere. In what do you do in the puja? All that is old, all that is fading, all that is impermanent, in that context, you put it out. Old flowers, that which are changing, dying, dust, dirt, all of it, use water to wash it away, the water of knowledge to wash it away. So in fact, you can be reminded of Vedantic teaching in every action. There is no special action to be done to remember Vedantic teaching or special thing to be done. You can live as natural or regular life you want and yet be reminded of all the Vedantic tenets all the time. If at all, if we have that eyes to see or vision to relate in that way. So you worship the real through the description given in this second shloka. The third one. Prathasmarana tamasah paramarkavarnam purnam sanatana padam purushottamakhyam yasminnidam jagadasheshamasheshamurtau rajvam bhujangama iva pratibhasitam vai. Early in the morning, I prostrate onto the timeless abode, well known in the scriptures as the Purusha. That infinite supreme reality shines like the sun and transcends the darkness of ignorance. It alone is manifest as all. This entire universe appears on the substratum of that reality like a serpent on the rope. So the consciousness, this conscious presence which is there in you, is the substratum on which all Namarupas are coming and going. The whole there is a building of Namarupa called Jagat, the foundation for it. The in and out structure of it is consciousness itself. All else is just an appearance. So when you recognize that, again in your life, there will be no anxiety. Nothing, because everything comes only to pass. This too shall pass. So That is the nature of Jagat. Gacchati gacchati iti Jagat. Keeps on going, never stays. So that impermanence you understand of the Nama Rupas, and then you know that you are constantly seeking permanence, constantly seeking completeness, constantly seeking happiness and peace. And where is the source of it all? Who is the source of it all? Where is it? It is you as the consciousness and nothing else. Go keep searching in the world, you will never find. Never find. We will be so dissatisfied in life. We do not want that. The knowledge comes to our rescue and we utilize it to know, to realize, to be free here and now. Do not bring next janma. So here and now. So that is the text. Contemplation, as I started with, is very essential as a daily practice. Find time for it. Find time for it. Make it happen. Make it happen for yourself. And let there be constant engagement with the Shastra through listening, reading, whatever is convenient to you on the day-to-day basis. And occasions like this, and Pujya Swamiji's vision has been to have these Gurukulams for not Swamis to stay. No, we never stay. We are hardly there. For people to take benefit of the teachings. He wanted a conducive atmosphere where you do not have any other worries of to cook, to chop, to clean. Nothing, none of those chores are there, so that time is available for enquiry. Why facilities? He said, so that people can be relaxed and then concentrate on Atma Tattva, on one's own Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. So all this was his glorious conceptualization which he made it happen into reality, and thousands of seekers have been benefited by this perennial knowledge. And the teaching tradition continues after Pujya Swamiji. Even during his time, Pujya Swami Viditatmananda ji has been teaching courses and classes here. Swami Tattvavedananda ji, Swami Pratyakbodhananda ji, Swami Muktatmananda ji. So all of us have been continuing Pujya Swamiji's this brilliant teaching of Atma Tattva, making it relevant to everybody in their life. So I hope this retreat has had a positive, transformative effect on you. So I suggest whenever you find time, come here, sign up into retreats. I feel I've always felt when I used to attend retreats in the initial formative years, what can happen in 2 months at home happens at 3 days, 4 days in the Gurukulam, because there is a concentrated effort and there are satsangis with you, with whom you can interact, share, and all said and done, place also has some effect in the in one's life as we continue in our spiritual formations, in our sadhana. During that stage, place does have an impact on you. A very contemplative place like this will have very lasting effect on you and some transformative effect. So come here. And for next year, April, I have scheduled a couple of weekend camps. When you look into the ashram's schedule on the website or the flyers, it will all be there. And all the other year-round camps by all the other revered acharyas, you sign up for whenever you find time. And come here, get benefited, and be free and happy. Yeah. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om shanti shanti shantihi. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. See, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, how beautiful is the prayer. COVID pandemic could be a big insight in knowing this fact in the humanity, that we always think, if I am fine and happy, if my family is happy, that's enough for me. Life can go on. We seem to have this limited thinking. But in the COVID pandemic, you were fine, your family was fine, yet life was not normal. Why? Because not everybody were in sukha. So until that, you could not be sukhi, you could not resume your normal life. That's why the prayer, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, may everybody be happy and peaceful, because you cannot be happy and peaceful in isolation. It's a dream, it's an illusion that we build four walls and think we can be happy in that isolated space. It is such a stupid understanding when you look at larger context of life. That's why may everyone be happy. May everyone be disease-free. Wow, what a prayer. May one see what is auspicious. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. May I never partake dukkha. May we never have dukkha in our life. So that's the prayer. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May there be peace and only green peace. Yeah. Okay. Om Tat Sat. Yeah. Do you want a bhajan?